She is finally done. Hey everybody, welcome back and thank you so much for tuning in. Episode 3, part 3, finally. I'm really excited to get this one done after ending part 2 or episode 2 and getting the wing all painted and decaled and coated with a clear coat of satin. I was over the moon, crazy excited. So I'm really happy to get this one done and see her 100% complete. So without delay, we're gonna dive in. I pretty much finished up with the wing and some of the decals, so I have a lot more decals that I do need to cut out for the body. So I guess we'll jump into a real quick time lapse of that, and then I'll update you when all completed. Alright, and here we are. Decals. Man, I think it was the Kyosho Beetle that had the decals pre-cut out, and that really spoils you. I don't know, next to painting a driving figure, I think decals are probably my least favorite thing. It always stresses me out. I'm always afraid that I'm gonna slip with the X-Acto knife or cut too deep with the scissors, and yeah, you cut it twice and it's still too short, so can't undo that. But yeah, I got them all laid out. If you guys remember, I am doing a mixture of the MCI original Hotshot 2 decals, and then of course using the Blockhead motor decals with the kit. So I might still play around with some of the smaller decals. I like that the MCI one, does a lot of the original, like the Monroe or the NGK, kind of like the real manufacturer names rather than the made-up Tamiya ones, which are cool, but yeah, I like the real ones slightly better. So we still have to get these number plates, stickers on those number plates, and I still might try to play around with some of these. Like I said, I was kind of bummed that I can't really find a good spot for the original Hotshot 2 sticker. I might stick that underneath the wing. Kind of hidden, but I'll know it's there. But yeah, so I'm going to get these all lined up, laid on the body, and then yeah, I'll keep you guys updated when everything's done. Just really excited to get this done and see it 100% complete, so stay tuned and we'll be right back. And here we are. Body is finally done. That was a lot of decals, but I ended up, like I said, using a mixture of both the MCI and the Blockhead ones. Kind of got creative on some of them. Didn't really follow the instructions, but I think it turned out really good. So this was satin clear coated, so we're ready. There's some plastic pieces that attach right here, so the number plates can go on. I got to get the number plate attached here, both antennas, and then we'll get it on the body, and then she will finally be done. So this turned out really good. I actually like, there's a couple different yellow contrast on here, and they turned out really good. So yeah, we're gonna get those on, and we'll be back real shortly.
Many months later.
What can I say about this build? It was a lot of fun. a lot more work than I had thought. A lot of paint, a lot of decals. If you guys saw it, I believe it was episode 2, I ran into a couple issues with the front skid plate up here. I'll bring you guys in for a close-up so you can kind of see. So a couple alignment issues with the front skid plate. I had got an aluminum one, but that one didn't quite work out. I think it was slightly mislabeled, and possibly some changes over the original Hotshot in the front end. But yeah, it wouldn't have lined up without heavy modification. Other than that, this was a great buggy, fantastic. The paint turned out way better than I anticipated. This was my first time using the MCI decals, and those were just as good, if not the same as the original Tamiya decals. So, I mean, super stunning buggy. Everything that I kind of wanted to implement and kind of bring into this buggy, I felt worked out really, really good. So, I don't know, possibly because of the holidays, this one I think took me probably about a month, but it kind of forces me to take my time and kind of slow down and really think about what I want to do. So yeah, I can't rave enough. This was a super, super fun build. A couple gripes that I explained. As you guys know, there was the back piece, or kind of the back skid plate. I thought that would end up being metal like the top of the roof, but it's just a polycarbonate. So I was able to add a couple stickers to kind of make it look metal and kind of look authentic. Obviously some of the changes I made were the paint, so I ended up going with a blue. I believe it's the TS21 or the PS6, one of those two, and then I ended up backing that with black, and then I went over with a satin clear gloss to kind of give it that matte or satin look. So that one turned out really, really good. I used a lot of the MCI original Hotshot 2 decals. Love the colors. I thought it went really, really well with the kind of Blockhead Motors theme, and tied in really good with how they make their buggies. Other than that, I ended up going with the Holmes Hobby. This one was actually the Retro Sport 19, but the 21s have a yellow metal shield over it. It's an extra magnet. So I ended up swapping out. The 19 comes with a pink one, and the 21 comes with the yellow one. So I ended up swapping it out for the yellow one. Worked out super, super good. I like the long lead, so I kind of wrapped those behind the gold cage. As I mentioned, I got a lot of inspiration from one of the first Tamiya kits that I built, which was the fighting buggy, and that one has a red cage. So I ended up going with a gold cage on this particular one. I think it helped kind of pop a lot. The black really, blended in, and there's actually a lot of intricate parts on the cage, and having that gold, it kind of really helped accentuate that, and you can see all the different roll bars and stuff like that. I ended up using Testa tape, so I did Testa tape underneath the metal roof here, or the metal skid plate on the top, and that'll help it kind of look like those foam bumpers, or those foam pieces that you see like on the cages on race cars or buggy cars in real life. So I did that to come in, kind of mimic that, and then also stop that if I do get a rollover or a crash, to kind of dig in and chew up that paint. So this one did have some struggles other than the front skid plate, like I mentioned. Getting that netting, getting that cut is super easy, but getting it to where it lines up perfectly is almost next to near impossible. And then you got to zip tie everything on, and it's just like you almost need 500 hands to hold the netting, and then zip tie it, and then hold the zip tie up out of the way, so you don't mess anything up. And then meanwhile, try not to scuff up or scratch that too much. I do recommend, for anybody who wants to paint any of these plastic pieces,
it's good to use like a self-etching spray paint primer first, or they have like an adhesion. It's called adhesion promoter. So basically, I use like Scotch-Brite or like a light, 2000 sandpaper. Go over that, lightly. Then, like I said, you can use the self-etching or you can use adhesion promoter. Lay that down first, do a primer, and then I went with TS21. Did quite a few coats, probably like 3 or 4 coats of TS21. And then after that dried, I went over with 3 coats of the satin clear enamel. So same thing with the body. So for those who know, the body does come pre-painted. So what I did was I actually went over the top of it. So I went over the top of it with PS Black to adhere to the polycarbonate body. And then I went over the TS Black with the PS Black. Then I went over that with the TS34. And that's the blue color, one of my favorite. Also, same blue color as the fighting buggy. Did quite a few coats of that, and then went over that with a satin clear enamel after I laid all the decals. So, yeah, other than that, I can't rave enough about this one. Turned out way better than I expected. And I actually like the buggy a lot more than I originally thought. Not that I didn't like it, but like I explained in the beginning, it was just too reminiscent of the wild one, and I feel that they played it very, very safe on this Hotshot 2. And I guess it gave me an opportunity to kind of do the best of both worlds. So pay homage to the original Hotshot 2, and then the Blockhead Motors theme, which I think is really, really rad. I ended up also satin clearing the rims and the wheels to kind of keep that shine down and kind of go with the whole flow of the buggy. So I haven't really ran this too much other than inside. The suspension, like I mentioned in episode 2, is surprisingly well. The rear feels super, super good, and the front is fantastic for a single shock. Like a lot of people mentioned, once you get it on the road, it works a lot better. But I have noticed that the springs are very, very soft on this one as opposed to the Nova Fox up there. Those springs are insanely stiff, like crazy stiff, especially for a 2-wheel drive buggy. So I ended up doing a 550 oil. I did 400 in the back, and I went with 550 up front. And still messing around with these spring compression clips, but I definitely could have gone with a thicker oil up front because it can bottom out pretty easy. And then with adding those spring compression clips, I think thankfully I went with the thicker oil, so it does knock down the springiness or the bounciness a lot, but still kind of playing with those in the rear. But yeah, all in all, I am super, super happy with this buggy. I can't wait to get it actually outside. Just like all my other buggies, we'll do some speed runs, and then I have a couple courses that I made up by me. There's one course I probably end up calling Twin Pines, so it's 2 trees and a figure 8 with a jump in the middle. So I have that one. There's a dirt field or a dirt track, so I'll set up a track there. And then I have my drag strip, which is perfectly flat. Yeah, I'm super excited to get this outside, get some speed runs, and start hitting the different tracks and seeing how they lap around those individual tracks. So other than that, this will wrap up episode 3. Finally excited to have this one done and dive on to the next one. This one she'll probably go up right next to the Nova Fox up there. She'll probably sit, I don't know, I'm thinking about something sideways like that, so you can kind of see everything. This buggy was definitely a lot intricate, a lot more details than some of the other buggies I did, but this one was actually, that's my first 4-wheel drive RC kit that I built, and my first 4-wheel drive Tamiya kit, so can't wait to get it out and start testing her out. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and please consider checking out the other episodes. I'll leave a link down in the description, and let me know what you think. Any comments, questions, please jot them down below. And as always, I really appreciate everybody, tuning in, watching my episodes, all the thumbs up and the likes and feedback. Definitely love talking to you guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.